We're on episode 121. What's going on? Morning, afternoon. Let's see. Get my notes brought up. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Hope everybody slept well. Hope everybody had fun. Hope you studied whatever it is that you were studying. We got in the house right now. So Claudia K, what's going on, love? See how you doing? All the viewers that haven't timed in the chat, we see you. Let's get busy. So, how do I want to start? I just want to take my glasses off too. How I want to start. If you didn't catch last night's show, go back and watch last night's show. Uh, we talked about a little bit about everything: finances, um, RMDs. Talked about a little bit of everything. We're gonna probably continue a little bit more. Glad you saw it on the meetup, so you catch it live. That's why we put it out there. Meetup.com/women in Linux. That's how you keep up with what we got going on. And Slack. Sometimes I'll drop a link in Slack and say, let's chat. Let's have a little talk. What's going on with the people? All right. So let's open up with culture. I asked Dee this earlier. Uh, define culture. What's a definition of culture? What is the definition of culture? All right. There's a reason why I asked that. Let's see. All right. So culture could be a number of things. It could be a noun or a verb, but we want the noun portion of it, right? The noun, the arts and the manifestations of a human intellectual, achievement regarded. It could be the customs, the arts, the social institutions, and the achievements of a particular nation, people, or other social group. And the example they give is Caribbean culture. Now, why did I bring that up? Culture, because culture is everywhere. Culture exists in everything, right? My own personal take on the whole Jeannie Ma and Jeezy thing was a culture thing. I don't know if you all read the comments on it. People are like, "Wow, why would you want your mother and your brother living with you?" In particular, it came from Black people. Um, but the question becomes is why? What is the culture in which she comes from? What is the culture in which he comes from? What is the culture in which you're going to go work in? What is the culture in which even you can even see culture um if especially for those of you that go get your hair done every week at a hair salon, you can see how people move and vibe. You can when you go to different restaurants, setting the tone. Like every culture is everywhere. It is everywhere, right? And so the question is, again, that's the culture she comes from. Her mom, she's seen it from her mama and her grandmother probably saw it from her mother and grandmother. Very family oriented, very in your face. I don't know. I When I lived in Hawaii, families lived together. The dad was there. The brother was there with with his wife, and their child or children. The other brother was there with his child and children. The new wife was moving in with her husband. The dogs, the cats. Uh, it is what it is. What it is. Caribbean families the same way. Everybody's when we come in town. Everybody, I don't care how big or small a place you got, we gonna make a way. You can have a 2 bedroom, and 5 people gonna be in that 2 bedroom in one room. Put down some mattresses on the floor. Move over. You got a bathroom. You got a shower. I don't. Again, everybody is different. I often and I still think this, and people don't want to do this. People going, and I know people gonna push back in the comment section on this as well too. I really think at the way the times are going right now, I really think that as a people, we should probably all be living together. If you at home, I mean, if you out and about, go live in your mama basement. Go back home. Go back home. I'm not telling you not to save no money, but I'm what I'm saying is at some point you're gonna have to um you're gonna have to find a way to pull your resources together and make the best of it. If your mom is sitting on 2 acres and she in a house by herself, go get a tiny home and throw it in the back. Pave the drive, make a driveway, and throw it in the back. If they got a big enough property where you can get a ADU or something in the back, a shed or something, put it in the back. In Walmart selling small tiny homes now. In Walmart selling tiny homes. Yeah, Walmart selling tiny homes now. Yeah, yeah, Walmart selling two tiny homes, 2 stories for 10,000. Right. So I understand the whole. I mean, basically, if you really think about it, you probably grew up the same way. You probably grew up the same way. And when I say you probably grew up the same way, meaning your mom dropped you off as a kid at your grandmother's house. Your mom was over at your grandmother's house every day. Your mom was around you all the time. Your grandmother was around you all the time. Your aunts and so forth and so on. Not everybody, but majority of them grew up that way. Your grandparents was your daycare. You went over to your grandmother's house on Sunday to eat. Y'all barbecue when it was a bar when somebody was barbecuing. Yeah, I called your cousins and them. They're gonna come over. We all barbecuing today. They gonna bring something. Blah 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 blah. And the kid may spend the night, or somebody may spend the night, or whatever. That's just what it is. That's just what it was. So your cousins was your sisters, your aunts, your cousins, and sometimes your cousins was your aunt, and sometimes the friend of the family that was down the street was also a aunt or a caretaker or something of that nature, right? We just got to the point now where we don't even want to do none of that. We don't want to pull resources together. It's like who got the most resources. When in fact it's so bad in some situations that you don't even know how to accept when someone is just being nice to you. It's I'll give you a prime example. Yesterday I was walking into the office and the guy had a bag in his hand. I said to him, I said, we about to split that lunch. He's like, what? What'd you say? And I was like, I just said, oh, we about to split lunch. He was like, oh. I thought you said something. I said, no, I didn't. I said, it's okay. like, like go on, it's okay. Like when somebody even speaking to you, you mad. Like you mad because somebody, you mad at breakfast, you mad at hello, you mad at this. Like, what is the point? What's the point? What is the point? Right? So yeah. So again, I think when it comes down to culture, I think we lose out on um what that looks like. Not everybody you live with, not everybody that not you can't live with everybody, right? I get it. But in some cases, you may take that 6 months, grin and bear it, and then keep it pushing. Get your own place, get your own little corner and grin and bear it. Put your head down to get the way you need to be and keep it pushing. Right? And keep it pushing. Right? So that's just my thoughts. I know that don't appeal to some people, but it's a reason why I mentioned it. And then and let's get into why I mentioned it. Let's get into why I mentioned it. America has a labor shortage. We see all the migrants coming in. And I wrote this in a post. And I'm going to read what I wrote. Let me copy it over so you can actually read what I wrote. Let me put it on text pad. Text edit. So a new document. All right. And then let's make this bigger. Let's make this about 30, 48. It should work. All right. All right. Let's make that bigger. All right. Cool. Oh, you can't see it, huh? Hmm. Oh, y'all see that? Because I'm looking at it and I don't see it. You just see the link, but you don't see what I posted. I don't know why you don't see that. Interesting. But anyway, I'll just read it. Um, in this, what I said was, we know migrants are coming over, and everybody is sitting around on podcasts complaining about this woman, this man, that. I don't have enough money for this. I don't have enough money for that. I don't have this. I don't have that. This is my vision of what's about to happen, and there is more. But I'm just gonna read off what's already in movement, right? So we already know that they've opened up the military for migrants, right? So that's to join 4 years, or you can join with uh, the reserves. We'll also have opened it up for Social Security. $891 a month, I think, is what they get for 7 years, right? Plus benefits. And here's the other thing that is also gonna happen. Um, IBM in this various times from 2021 to now, IBM has an initiative to train 30 million people. The collaboration underscores IBM, and I'm reading, focus on providing STEM job training to traditionally underrepresented groups. They also have an initiative to train security and AI, and that one was over 30 million too. All right. Amazon has an initiative to train 29 million people worldwide with free cloud computing skills by 2025. And there will be 2.1 manufacturing jobs that go unfulfilled by 2030. There are, it was 7 million. I think that got bumped up to 10 million cybersecurity jobs that go unfilled. Who you think gonna get them? Who you think gonna get them? I haven't even dove off into AI. I haven't dove off into machine learning. I haven't dove off into edge computing. I haven't even talked about quantum computing. All those initiatives. I talked on Monday about the $10 billion IT contract, and then another contract was it another 6 billion for that contract. So which side of the corner you gonna be on? You gonna argue with somebody? Listen, if you can go get it for free, and you could go back and stay with your family or your friends for 6 months, put your head down, get a little side job so you can contribute to food, gas, light, and water. Put your head down, do your research, do your interviews. If you can do that, then do that. If not, you're gonna always be on the sideline. You're gonna always be on the sideline. You're gonna always be looking like, wonder what they doing. I'm telling you what they're doing. I'm telling you what they're getting ready to do. Why you think Walmart got the? Why you think Walmart selling them homes? Why do y'all think that? You think they're gonna come over here and just stay in the tent? No. You think they ain't gonna pull their money together and buy some land? All right, let's get back into it. All right, where are the shortages at? America's labor shortage. The most impacted industries: health services, professional and business services, trade and accommodation and food service industries had a highest numbers of job openings. This came out September 11th. What's going on, Tunde? Hold 1 second, please. Hold on 1 second. Hold on 1 second, cause I keep. Hold on 1 second, cause I keep getting calls. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. 1 second. Yep. So where are we at? So C-19, America's labor force, something many have referred to as the greatest resignation. In 2020, in 2022, more than 50 million workers quit their jobs. A lot of that was men. Now we already seen where men are not are exiting the workforce. So who do you think is going to come over here and get the jobs that they don't want to do? Right? Who you think? Right? All right. So now it says, but a closer look at as what has happened in the labor force can better describe as the great reshuffle, because hiring rates have outpaced quit rates since 2020. So many workers are quitting their jobs, but many are getting rehired elsewhere. Elsewhere, the U.S. Chamber is capturing the trends on the jobs. The labor force participation, quit rates, and more for quick understanding of the workforce is in an America's Work Data Center. I'm gonna open that up. So food service and hospitality struggle to retain. They just gonna automate that. They're gonna automate those workers. I showed you last week where they're taking out the McDonald's is taking out the soda dispenser. They're taking that out. They're gonna automate that. They're gonna automate fries. It ain't gonna be nobody back there doing fries. And don't be surprised if they automate sandwiches. Don't be surprised if you just gonna pull up in the drive-through and it's just gonna be a person there making sure that your order is correct. Put something in there and keep it pushing. Their job they're gonna have to be technical. I will have 3 people working. We know when it's coming. We got some people outside. Who you think? Watch and see. Watch Chick-fil-A. Watch Chick-fil-A automate all that stuff. Watch. All right. It says hiring rates have outpaced quit rates. Leisure and hospitality lost 1 million workers in March of 2023, but 1 million were hired into the industry that same month. In fact, leisure and hospitality has maintained the highest hiring rates of all industries since November of 2020 or 2020. Now I'm gonna get into that we're gonna talk about that. Don't let me forget it because I forget. Don't let me forget about the Vegas Linux administration hiring. We're gonna get into that because I've been telling y'all what the rate should be, but y'all push back on me and tell me I'm lying. You push back on me and tell me don't nobody hire you for that or that ain't what it should be. I'm gonna show you better than I can tell you. I've been saying it for years. Don't nobody want to listen. Everybody want to be. You don't know what you're talking about. All right. The hiring rate has continued to outpace the quit rates, and as leisure and hospitality has gained the highest hiring rates of all industries since November of 2020, and so forth. Right here go the quit rates. You got wholesale and trade, professional and business services, durable goods, manufacturing and financial activities, and leisure and hospitality. I said this last week, right? Or I maybe said it on Monday. What are the top three? What are the top three industries or the top three jobs that make the most millionaires? What are the top three that make the most millionaires? Put it in the chat. Y'all should remember these things. Because when your kids or your nephews or when your cousins and them asking y'all, well, I want to be a millionaire or I want to do something. What's the jobs that's doing it? You can tell them, right? It said to further understand the shift in the labor force, it's interesting to look at the labor force participation across different industries. Some have a shortage of labor while others have a surplus. That's right, engineers, yep, teachers and lawyers, right? It says, for example, durable goods, manufacturing, wholesale, and retail, and education and health services have a labor shortage. These industries have more unfilled openings than unemployed workers with experience. Now, I've been following nurses online. Like I've been following their jobs and what they've been offering these nurses and stuff online, especially travel nurses, right? Come work for 2 weeks or 3 weeks or a month and get paid, 20,000 or $30,000, or 2 weeks or whatever the case may be, right? The labor force shortage by industry. All right, I'm assuming the ones with the skirt of the men, I mean of the women, and the ones with the that don't have the skirt of the men. All right, so they're talking unfulfilled jobs here. The one in black is the unfulfilled, and then filled job openings. So we got durable goods. We got, as you can see, we got wholesale. We got financial activities. We already know that financial activities is going to have the most unfulfilled jobs. Why do we know that? Why do we know that anything dealing with finances is going to be unfulfilled? Why? You want to know why? The literacy rate of the United States. The literacy rate of the United States. I already told you, right? And let's go back to 2019. But let's talk about it. We already know 54% can't read and write, right? People don't like math. Did you know? Do you know what's funny about when we say that though? Let's say this. We don't like math, but we like to get paid. We don't like math, but we want to get paid. Right? Right? It says 4 and 5 adults, 79% have English literacy skills sufficient to complete tasks that require comparing and contrasting information, paraphrasing, or making low level inferences, right? In contrast, 21% have difficulty completing those tasks, right? This translates to 43 million adults who possess low literacy skills. 43 million. 43 million. That's a lot of people. You may not think it's a lot of people, but that's a lot of people, right? Look at this figure. Percentage of low skilled adults age between 16 to 65. And this is from 2012 and 2014, right? 23% of the black population. We can't afford 23% when we only make up 13% of the black population. 17% now. We can't afford 23% of the black population with low English literacy rates. We can't afford it, right? Now there's another one out there right here, right there. 54% of the adults have a literacy rate below the sixth grade level. 54%. So that means if you put a eighth grade level book in front of them, they're not going to be able to comprehend and understand what they're reading, or maybe may not be able to read it, much less do the math. So you wonder why the finance stuff behind? Oh, okay. Then we got professional and business services. Professional and business services. I can see these two. We don't get into, and I can see somebody come taking that over, right? Where remote work has changed the game. The Gallup found that 91% of the U.S. workers hope they could continue working some of their hours from home, and 3 in 10 workers signal they seek new employment. Right? Unemployment rates, and they got their view of it there. But let's get down here. The U.S. Chamber of Commerce is proud to lead the business community in identifying the actions employers can take to offer good jobs to Americans. Business can increase their hiring pools by removing barriers to entering the workforce by expanding childcare access and second chance hiring, and provide opportunities for new and existing staff to be upskilled and reskilled on the job. This is why I tell you, take advantage of all the upskilling and reskilling that you possibly can. Right? So we got a shortage. Okay. All right. I see it. But this is what we can't do. We can't go into jobs like this. We can't do this. What am I talking about? I'm talking about you can't get in a job at the Department of State. An IT contractor arrested on espionage charges. The IT contractor who had a top secret security clearance since at least 2020 allegedly distributed defense information with a foreign government. The federal IT contractor working for the State Department and the Justice Department was arrested on espionage charges last month for allegedly sharing national defense information with a foreign government. Abraham Teklu Lima, 50, allegedly accessed secret and top secret information unlawfully and distributed that information to an unspecified African country. You can't No. What happens when this what starts to happen when we start seeing things like this? I'm gonna tell you what starts to happen. People start to prejudge you. They start not to interview you. They like, we don't want that headache. I don't want my name on that person. Who hired this person? What company did they come from? Who did they talk to at work? What were they doing? Nobody wants to be a part of that. People just people just want to go home and watch their little girl blow bubbles. They don't want to have this problem. So we can't do that. You can't quit and not and while you not working, not get any skills. Don't quit a job if you didn't get no skills while you were at the job. Get skills while you're at the job before you quit. Don't quit a job and not get any skills. It doesn't make mathematical sense. While you're at work and you say you bored or you say you're not learning nothing, learn something. Spin up, spin up YouTube, spin up Udemy, spin up Coursera, Pluralsight, whatever the case may be. Spin up something. Get a cert before you desert. Get a cert before you desert. Okay? Do not jump ship and you haven't done anything. Right? Get the skills that can pay the bills. That's it. Get a cert before you desert. I need to put that on the t-shirt. Hold on one second. I got another call. Hold on. That was work. Good thing I answered because that was gonna go to voicemail. All right. So for you all that and D, why you keep I don't know why you're showing the chamber of commerce. Hold on. Let me reshare. Because I don't know why you're seeing only that. Here we go. Right here. The DOD contractor. Abraham Teklu Lima. Allegedly accessed secret and top secret information unlawfully and distribute that information to an unspecified African country, according to the press release and a company affidavit. Lima is a naturalized U.S. citizen who lives in Silver Spring, Maryland, and was previously a citizen of an African country, according to the affidavit. He is Ethiopian. He is Ethiopian. If you go back and look at some of, then let's talk about these jobs here. Let me pull this up because so let's get into this here. Let me pull this up real quick. Let me pull up my Slack. Let's get into jobs real quick because I want to talk about this. I want to talk about this. I want to talk about this. I don't know if y'all read this one. All right. So the job at because you know the MGM Grand, they just got hacked, but they hiring a Red Hat Linux administrator. They want them to come in and work 10 hours a day, 7 days a week to rebuild the environment and be on call. It was like it's 110 an hour, but they got an hourly rate of $100 an hour. But here's the thing, they said right here, must be a U.S. citizen. No green cards or H-1B visa candidates will be accepted. Now, here's another thing that people are going to start doing. They're going to want you to be from the U.S. on some of these, right? They're going to want you to be from the U.S. on some of these. Yeah, TD Will. Yeah, TD Wills. You got to get a cert before you deserve. Yeah. Listen, $100 an hour. You want to know what people said? Blasphemy. Blasphemy. That's what they said. Let's read. Let's get into this. Whoever is capable of doing this advertised job is capable of making twice as much money in half the time as some other place. I've been telling y'all, the people that I talked to said 500 an hour. Now we're gonna go through this because I'm telling y'all to get these Linux skills. I've been telling you, sitting there, telling you, sitting by the dock of the bay, like get the Linux skills, get the Linux skills because they pay, get the Linux skills because they pay. Get the Linux skill because they pay. I'm telling you, you can get a Linux job. They pay you 100,000. Go get your RECSA. Get your RECE. Sprinkle in a little cloud. Know a little bit about a little Kubernetes. Know over here about a little security. Get your security plus. Put it together. Package. Boom. 150, 200. Stay in the job for about 2 or 3 years. Bounce. Once you bounce, make sure you got your certs so you can just ask for what you want. Once you get your certs, you move on, then you be at 250. Next thing you know, you be at 300. Next thing you know, you be at 350. Oh, you know what? You could be there quicker. Let me show you how you can get there quicker. Here are the jobs that do X, Y, and Z. Here's the one that put 25% to your 401k. This one do 10. This one do 6. This one do a 200% match. Boom. Next thing you know, you've been on work the job for about 10, 15 years. Oh, you'll be a multimillionaire. Why? Because you got a couple of accounts set up. Oh, guess what? You bought some property. Oh, guess what? You did this. I'm just trying to show you how to do it really quickly. Boom, 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 boom. Helmet Chili, thank you for becoming a new member. We appreciate you. We appreciate you. Right? Now this one says this feels like this feels like the sort of topic that MGM shareholders should be discussing and so forth. I bet they think 110 an hour is paying well for that. Right? LMAO. I checked this listing considering getting hacked in the game. I was pulling 150 an hour a decade ago. Ain't no way. And to be honest, I feel like I'm a bit underqualified for what they need. Should be offering more like 300 an hour. See, they still don't get it. Talented IT people who they need will cost to 150 to 250 an hour. Some people are like, well, most of us aren't sitting around with $70 an hour bandwidth, 70 hours a week of bandwidth to take this on, specifically not for $100 an hour. FTE is almost like $100 an hour with inflation. They should have just paid the ransom. To monopolize my time 10 hours a day with an immediate start, I need like 300 an hour. 208,000 a year is fairly low in technology security world, especially given their circumstances. 110 ain't gonna cut it for the real ones. I listen, listen. I'm just trying to tell y'all, What people are out here saying, what I have been saying, I've been trying to tell you. You can sit up here and y'all can sit, you can claw and all of that, this, that, and other, and fight and this, that, and other. And we're like, well, I'm gonna go down this route over here to do because that's what I'm telling you. Basics. What I know can get you at a minimum. What I know works. I know it works. I've done it. I know it works. But you'll fight and you're like, no, I'm going over here and I'm gonna get my A plus. Okay, have at it. Have at your A plus. Not knocking you for getting your A plus. I'm just telling you, you're just not gonna make the money that you want to make in the time that you want to make it. And then all of you say, I got time. But when you find yourself at the help desk for like 3, 4, 5 years and you just hitting 65, 70, and then you get online and you be like, you don't make that kind of money in tech. There's no way that you can make 300,000 or $500,000 in tech. She's lying. There's nothing you can do. You're not making that. Tell her to show her pay stubs. She's not doing that. There's no way. I need to get a t-shirt called keyboard banger. Because that's what most of y'all are out here. It's just keyboard banging. You mad? You mad. I get it. You upset. I'll be upset too. I'll be upset too. There's no way she does that. There's no way. Look, everybody's like 300 minimum. Plus, you just got hacked. Real administration versus stressed out real architect and incident are very different, and this is not the going rate. Honestly, asking in-house hires to do this instead of a firm with a security staff and migration managers already hired is ridiculous and short-sighted. I am telling you, no overtime should be at least 150 an hour, right? I'm telling you. And I've been saying this. Like, if you not listen, some of y'all would take the 100 because you probably haven't seen it before. So I give you fair game on that. But once you have seen it, don't keep asking for it. Once you make 110, don't go back to the next job and be like, oh, I'm gonna ask for 110. No, you ask for more. You ask for more. Why can't you ask for more? What are you scared to get paid more? Are you afraid of money? Are you afraid of options? If you're afraid of options, let me know. If I can show you that you can get paid 150, 250, 350, 450 an hour, would you take it? Or would you be like, I'm not worthy of that? No. Don't give it to me. No, no, it can't be me. No, I can't. No, no. Did you say 150 an hour? I'm not worthy. Oh, I'm not worthy. Oh, I'm not so. I'm not that worthy. Is that you? Is that y'all? Are y'all out really out here scared? If you scared, cool. This is what I need for you to do. This is what I need for you to do. Right? Move out the way. Just get out of the way. Right? Get out of the way. Get out of the way so those that ain't scared, we can get in there, we can do the thing. Get out of the way so we can get out there and make this money. Yo, look, they hiring 3 people over here. They need 3 people. at 150 an hour. You good? You want to go? Come on, let's put our resume in. Boom, boom, boom. Let's go. Let's get this interview. Let's do this thing. Okay, boom. We got it. Oh, listen. I know you just started work at this particular job. And I know you contract, but they paying over here, this one over here, they need at least 3 people for the next 6 months for this project, and they paying 180 an hour. You want to do it? No, I'm okay. This is enough money for me. Uh, uh, okay. Okay. All right. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Listen, it's a labor shortage. You think these migrants ain't they're not gonna learn Linux? You think they're not gonna learn cybersecurity? You think they're not gonna learn AWS, Azure, and GCP? You think they not? Oh, okay. 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 This right here, put this one up, D. This how people be looking at me on online when they be like, "You don't make that kind of money." This what it be. This what it look like to me. You don't make that kind of money. Look at this. Sucks for them. San Jose is hiring Linux admins for a salary of 300K. No need for 10-hour shifts. I've always said, you can get a job working at a casino. You can get a job working on a cruise ship doing Linux administration. Right here, there should be a 200 an hour plus a completion bonus for a skilled tech, especially in their situation. Nobody wants to work this at 110. And they'll find somebody to work it at 110 an hour for 6 weeks. They'll find somebody. 110 is like a standard dev hourly rate. Ain't no one accepting this for under 500. So there you have it. I just told you what people are looking at when it comes to your Linux skills, your Linux administration. What does that look like? What you can get? I'm telling you what you need to add on to it and move around in tech and get that. Once you add your Kubernetes and Linux skills and start understanding service mesh and zero trust, all that together, understanding platform engineering, maybe you know a little Rust, Python, maybe you know a little Go. There's no way. Oh yeah, Linux courses are gonna be selling like hotcakes. People ready now. It's the new hack. It's the new hack. People are ready now. Somebody said I need to go learn Linux. They said they over there teaching. They over there getting 100,000. People like yeah. What's new? Okay, and we been and left that. We been and left that. So, what is the percentage of the population that makes over 300,000? Right? I brought this up for a reason. Too many people, 300K can seem, to many people, 300K can seem like a lot of money. But how many people in the US are actually making that level of income? In this quick guide, I'll break down some facts and figures you need to know. How many people make over 300K in the US? Currently, it's estimated only 1.5, 1.5% of individuals earn more than 300K a year in the US, which amounts to about 2.5 million people. Can you become part of that 2.5 million? Absolutely. Absolutely. Do you want to be? That's a different question. Therefore, if you make over 300,000 in the US annually, you're a part of the top 1.5% of the US population. Putting away earning 300K puts you in the 98th percentile. How many households have that? 4.3% in the US make over 300K. There are other few factors to consider, so keep on reading. All right. So the big one here is income taxes. Income taxes vary by state. For that reason, income tax, particularly the top marginal tax rates at these high salary levels, can strongly dictate how much money you have left over. Now we saw this when we were looking at I think 4.3% is low too, but who am I? We saw this when it came down to how do you take your tax, how do you lower your tax brackets, right? How do you lower your tax brackets, right? How do you lower the tax brackets, right? All right. Cost of living, depending on where you at, that 300K can look different, what your expenses are. And it says, what jobs pay 300K? Software architecture, semiconductor design, emergency, psychiatry, dentistry. I'm going to go ahead and say it: cybersecurity, platform engineering, architects, cloud architects, principal. The way they do it is principal DevOps software engineer, or principal DevOps engineer, DevSecOps engineer. Someone who is maybe principal, distinguished. In some cases, you'll get some jobs out there that are staff that play that. Right? I think some of that you'll get staff that are paid that. When I say staff, I mean staff Linux administrator or whatever the case may be, as long as it's staff in front. What's going on, Felicia? How you doing? How did I get started in Linux? I tell you right now, go look at Rail 02024. It's free. It's an hour and 30 minutes long. See if you like it. That's how you get started. Simple. And if you like it, then you can dive off into Red Hat a little bit more. I think course not Coursera, but Free Code Camp. Um, Keep It Tech, you got a free course that he did online for like 3 or 4 hours. You got that one. There's other ones out there, but again, what is it that you where you want to see if you like it first, right? See if you like it. See if you like it, right? See if you like it first. Um, let's see, because you may not like it. So let's get into this, and then I'll back out in with the other stuff. Let's go this route first, and then I'll end with my stocks and what's going on and my thoughts. So let's do this first. Let's do a video, and then I have some accompany things that I want to discuss. Okay, it says an invalid address. Why? Oh, because I don't have the H in front. Okay. Welcome to the bigger. Let's stop right there. Okay, we're gonna do that. And then what I want to do is I did part of this last night, right? But before she gets into talking, let's talk about this. Oh, let me log in too. All right. So let's talk about this. Right? Congress, and this came out on the 20th, adds a new option to move assets from your IRA tax free. Why is this so important? Because there are millionaires, IRA millionaires, and there are 401k millionaires. But in particular, the IRA, in a lot of cases, is something that you contribute to, right? You contribute to that. But what happens is you put your money in, and then once you put your money in, you're like, okay, what can I do with it? So let me give you some background on why I brought this up. So I went to Fidelity yesterday, and I had a talk, Fidelity, about charitable remainder trust. And I wanted to know more about my options. Here's why. So right here in this picture, I could create a trust. The lawyer has to create a trust. Fidelity doesn't create the trust. But what Fidelity will do is manage the brokerage side of that trust. So in this trust, there are land you can put into it. You can, uh, and it's down here, land, money, stocks, bonds, so forth that you can put in a trust, and they can manage those assets for you. Now, what I wanted to know, the big part I wanted to know was if there's a charity out here and I want to donate to that charity, can I create the charity and donate to myself? The answer is this: as long as I am not a, as long as I'm not a majority owner of that charity and cannot benefit excuse me, from it. Now, it didn't say I couldn't have a charity and we have a board and it goes into there, and then maybe there is a salary I receive from this charity. Just said I couldn't be a majority owner. So I got some more digging to do, because I'm like, well, why can't I have a charity or a nonprofit 501c3 that is in, say, a family name that I am not on the board of, and it goes to that, it stays within the family. Now, Warren Buffett, I believe, does this as well too. So, what I wanted to know was, if the money grows in here and I can get an income stream, and that income stream can come back to me or it can go to a beneficiary because it's growing inside of this trust, right? So you can donate cash, stocks, non-publicly traded assets such as real estate, private business interests, private company stock, and become eligible to take a partial tax deduction. The partial income tax deduction is based on the type of trust. There's different type of trusts to set up, the terms of the trust, and the projected income payments, and the IRS interest rates that assume a certain rate of growth of trust assets, right? So fast forward to this new option for your IRA. Your new option called Legacy IRA QCD allows up to $50,000 in charitable donations in 1 year. What does that mean? That means if I make $250,000 and I've donated $50,000 to charity, I reduce my income, my taxable income, by 50,000. Now you can do that in a donor advised fund as well too, but the donor advised fund goes straight to charity. It doesn't create an income stream. With the CRT, you do. So it says this option has its own unique rules and must be coordinated with regular QCDs. Donor must be at least 70 and a half, and the funds can be used to create a charitable gift annuity or charitable remainder trust. You can use it to create a gift annuity or a charitable remainder trust. Other options to meet IRA withdrawals requirements or reduce future RMDs include QLACs, QHFDs, and CGAs. I'm a retired investor. I've been trading for over 40 years. I was previously a data analysis with a pension fund, and this he talks about why he writes. So let's get into it. All right, many parts of the recent laws, and this is coming from the Secure Act of 2.0, that affected retirement accounts have not been kind to us retirees with various types of IRAs. Some, like no RMDs from the Roth 401ks, were good. I recently heard about a new option that even Fidelity is not aware of yet, from my phones to them about it. It's called the Legacy IRA QCD, Qualified Charitable Distribution, and comes with its own set of rules that are very different from the known QCDs, which his wife is already using. Before covering the legacy IRA's QCDs or LQCDs, I will briefly review the other means of meeting an IRA withdrawal requirements or the means of to reduce future RMDs, right? Required minimum distribution. That change is at 73 if you reach the age 72 by 31. So you had required minimum distribution. You got this IRA, you have this 401k, you're in your retirement phase, you hit a certain age, you can't just let the money keep growing. It's required that you take that money out. You don't have to do that on your HSA, and I talked about that last night, right? So here it says Roth IRAs currently do not have RMDs for the original owners. That's the simplified definition. The IRS naturally added some many nuances. RMDs can be met by transferring cash or securities out of the account within the calendar year that they're required, right? So you want to know what a QLAC is. It's a qualifying longevity annuity contract. The QLAC is a strategy designed to defer RMDs, right? And this is going to change over your lifetime. This is going to change over your lifetime. So be aware of where you're at right now, especially for you that have Asian parents, or you have people who have some money, or you get this big windfall or what have you, and you may be at a retirement age, or you may retire early. It depends, right? Just be aware of these things, right? So QLACs provide guaranteed monthly income for life and defer taxes from R&Ds until payments start. I saw the best age to buy a QLAC was at 65. The Secure Act 2.0 allows moving up to 200,000 from a retirement plan to a QLAC, and it removed the 25% account limitation. I did not find whether the 200K ceiling will be adjusted for inflation, but payments must start by 85. Now, by 85, most people are probably dying out, or they don't have all their senses or whatnot. So you need to put some things in place and people in place and so forth and so on, right? It says now qualified HSA funding distribution. This is what I also thought was interesting. The IRS allows, and I told you, when you get to a certain age, right now, you're putting it into your HSA. And then by the time you get a certain age, I think it's 70 or maybe 70 and a half, your HSA, you can withdraw that money without using it for medical expenses or what have you, right? Right now you have to use it for medical expenses, but you can invest inside your HSA. And we're gonna talk about it on the bigger pockets joint in a minute. So let's get into this. The IRS will with unusual assortment limits, a one-time transfer from an IRA to an HSA, which can then be used to fund future health expenses. A qualified HSA funding distribution is done by direct transfer from your IRA to your HSA. So now they're allowing you to transfer, say you want some medical expenses paid for, and you're not contributing to your HSA anymore, but maybe you got some excess money in your IRA, you can put that in there. This transaction is not taxable or subject to the 10% penalty. The amount that can be transferred cannot exceed the amount eligible to contribute to your HSA, right? So for 2024, the contribution limits are going to go up to 4150 for single people and 8300 for family for those that are married. Those age 55 and older can play catch up and put in $1,000. Eligibility ends up to a year before you enroll in Medicare, so pay attention, right? So you can do this now. You got some excess funds in your IRA and you want to cover that in your HSA, you can transfer those funds, right? You can transfer those funds. Talk to your HR rep to make sure that they go over this with you. QHFD. QHFD. Is this for your transferring money from your IRA to your HSA, right? Now, qualified charitable distribution, QCD. Qualified charitable distributions can fulfill an account's RMD amount for a year. A QCD is a distribution from your IRA to a qualified charity. You must literally be 70 and a half to make a QCD distribution or QCD or distribution, not just the year you reach that age. The QCD is not taxed. This is the important piece. It's not taxed. So you may have a charity that you contribute to. There may be a family charity that you contribute to. It may be a family trust that you contribute to. Again, we're talking about how to keep your money and set up, use the structures that are out there to keep the money in your family. To keep them, you don't always have to give people cash. You can keep the money in your family. Legacy IRA, QCD, or LQCD or LIQCD, despite the name, have little in common and are so new that my broker wasn't sure they could process one. They come with their own set of unique rules. The limits are adjusted for inflation, so waiting until your first RMD is due should be considered as a LIQCD, right? So let's get into it. A donor can take advantage of this opportunity in only one tax year, during their lifetime, up to $50,000 across one or more gifts at one or more charities. But it must be done all in 1 year. The total amount distributed accounts towards the annual 100,000 of limit for QCDs. A donor must be at least 70 and a half at the time the donor makes a QCD distribution. Now, those of you that got older mothers and fathers, and you're looking for a way for them not to get taxed, and they want to take an RMD out or what have you, and not have that as earned income, here's some things to look at, right? Rules require payments from the CGA begin within a year, and say income is taxable. And then they get into the charitable remainder trust and the charitable gift annuity. And they go into pros and cons about that. I am going to leave this here. I'm gonna put this in there because it's a long list. But I wanted you to be aware of some of the things that are coming out in the Secure Act. Now let's get into the video so that we can talk about it more. Boom and boom, right here. So we're gonna skip through some of this. So let's go here. Okay, right there.
It's Money Podcast.
There we go.
All right, like I said, today Kyle and I are doing an account overview where we get into the nitty-gritty of what common accounts are and use cases for each one. Can you believe in more than 400 episodes, we realize that we've never done a true beginner account breakdown? So this is for the person just getting started or a refresher for the Investor Pro, filled with tips from the Kyle Mast, who used to be a CFP and maybe still is. I don't know, Kyle, are you still actually a CFP?
I'm still a CFP. It was too hard to get to let it go too quick. I'll hang on to it for a little while anyways.
Yeah, so while he is a CFP, he's not your CFP. So make sure you double check everything. But Kyle's pretty smart. So do you want to do your own disclaimer, Kyle?
That's pretty good. I'm a professional in this area, but yeah, these are ideas. These are not specific to your situation. Everyone's situation is super unique. We all know.
Yes. All right. Well, let's get started with the big one, the 401k. The 401k is an employer-sponsored retirement savings plan that offers significant tax savings while helping you plan for your retirement future. With a 401k, an employee sets aside a percentage of their income to be automatically taken out of each paycheck and invested into their 401k account. And your 401k account is not automatically invested until you decide where that money should go. I think that's really important to note. So, Kyle, what are the contribution limits this year?
That's a great question. You threw that at me and I don't have them pulled up at all. They're probably, they adjust.
Now, since he don't have them pulled up and he actually pulls them up, let me do this part right here. And let's talk about what we're actually seeing in this 401k, right? So this comes from Kiplinger, and I pulled down here what's new in the 401k. And this is important because um some of this has already started and some of this won't start till next year, right? I covered a little bit about this last night, but not a lot. All right, so it says, and let me look and see what you see on my screen, make sure that it's big enough. Yeah, okay. It says emergency expense distributions, right? Hardship withdrawals. Beginning in 2024, under the Secure Act 2.0 Secure 2.0 Act, you will be allowed to take an early distribution from your retirement account to cover unforeseeable or immediate financial needs. The emergency distribution of up to 1,000 could only be taken once during the year, but won't be subject to the usual 10% tax that applies to early distributions. So you could take you a early distribution, an emergency, right? But if you choose not to repay the distribution within a certain time, you won't be allowed to take other emergency distributions for 3 years, right? Other hardship withdrawals are provided for the Secure Act, including the 403B plans. Uh, let's see. Currently, the distribution rules for 403B and 401k plans are different. All right. 401k enrollment under Secure Act 2.0. Automatic enrollment in retirement plans. Beginning in 2025, the Secure Act expands automatic enrollment in retirement plans. According to the U.S. Labor Department, whether you already have a 401k or considering starting one, automatic 401k plans offer many advantages. In addition to helping small businesses attract employees, points to tax advantages associated with 401k participation, with some exceptions for small business, requires 401k and 403b plans to be automatically enroll eligible participants who would then be able to opt out of participation if they desire. The 401k contribution limit, right? Higher catch-up contribution limits. Right now, if you're 50 or older, you can make catch-up contributions to your retirement plan to certain limits, right? In 2025, to greater of 10,000 or 50% more than the regular catch-up. If you're 60 to 63, after 2025, those amounts will be indexed for inflation, right? It says also, beginning in 2024, uh, the impact on how eligible workers with incomes over 145,000 make up catch-up contributions. So if you make over 145,000, you're eligible for catch-up contributions inside your 401k, meaning you can help reduce your taxable income. Put a one in the chat if you with me so far. Put a one in the chat if you with me so far. What's going on, Natasha? Because do y'all understand when I say reducing your tax bill? I hope you understand what I'm saying. Your taxable income. You want to reduce that. All right. Now, here they talk about under the Secure 2.0, if you're at least 50 or older and and earned 145,000 in your previous year, you can make up catch up contributions in your employee sponsored 401k, but you will have to make those extra contributions on the Roth side. So 9 times out of 10, you got a Roth 401k, which has a traditional side and a Roth side. So your money is going to go to your Roth side, right? Going to your Roth side, right? It says the Roth catch-up was originally supposed to take effect in 2024, but due to problems with implementing Roth catch-up contributions, the IRS announced the Roth catch-up contribution for high earners age 50 and older won't be required until 2026. It said keep in mind those catch-up contributions will eventually in 26 have made a Roth basis in your income if your income exceeds 145. Student loan, employer fund match for student loan payments. Under Secure Act 2.0, your employer can make a matching contribution to your retirement plan account based on your student loan payment amount. This is designed to address the fact that high student loan debt can keep people from saving for retirement. This will be effective in 2024. This will be effective in 2024. Student loan payments are set to resume this fall, right? How many of y'all can use this? The secure student loan match in your 401k. Talk to your HR. Talk to your HR rep to see if you can get a match on your student loan payments. Say you may be paying 300 and they can may match you and put that into your 401k. All right? 529 plan changes. Roth rollover option beginning in 2024. Secure 2.0 changes 529 plans in limited circumstances. Shout out to Don Watch. Thank you. Thank you for the 50 ball. Catch this 50 ball, almost 50 ball. That's all right. I should match you. I should match you. All right. It says there are a lot of requirements that must be met, including the Roth IRA must be in the name of the 529 plan beneficiary. Some people may be able to roll over the 529 that they have maintained for 15 years to a Roth IRA. Annual limits for rollover would be within the annual contribution limit, and there will be a 35,000 lifetime limit on which can be rolled over. Savers credit to Savers match. Beginning in 2027, the Secure Act replaces the non-refundable Savers credit for some IRA and retirement plan contributions with a federal matching contribution. This will be deposited into your IRA retirement plan. It's called the Savers match. It says the Savers match will be 50% of your IRA plan contributions up to $2,000 per person. However, some income limits have phased out. Have you ever heard of this Savers match? Retirement Savers match converted. Retirement Savers tax credit converted to Savers match. President Biden has signed a legislation that turns the Savers credit into a government match into your retirement contributions. The Savers credit helps lower and middle income Americans who contribute to a retirement plan by cutting up 1,000 for single and 2,000 for marriage off their tax bill when they file for their annual tax return. It's also a particularly good incentive for young people started early on saving for their golden years, but the Savers credit as it exists today is in for significant changes. The 2.0 for 2022 is signed by President Biden converts the credit into a government matching program. This is due to kick in 2027. In 2027, they're going to kick in. Thank you, Bazaar 487. We appreciate you. All right, Savers match. Be on the lookout for that. It says some of those previous involve everything from part-time workers access to employer retirement plans and small business credit to simple and SEP plans. Now, I got some information on SEP IRAs. Lost 401k account database. Have y'all been keeping up with all y'all lost and found 401ks? You leave a job, you start, you invest, then you leave, you just leave it there. You don't know what to do with it. Roll it over, get it down to one place. They call it the 401k junk drawer. So now they got a search database. They're creating a search database. All right. I'm gonna get back to the bigger pockets one, but let me pull this one up here. And pull this up. Secure Act, the new SEP IRA contributions. All right. What is a SEP IRA? Well, a SEP IRA is a simplified employee pension. Is a profit sharing plan that allows any businesses to establish for benefits for their employees. In 2023, the maximum that you can contribute in a SEP IRA is 66,000. 60, yeah, hit the like button. Hit the like button, man. And share the content. 66,000. As a profit sharing plan, a sole proprietor or single member LLC can make a maximum contribution of 20% of each eligible employee's compensation up to the limit. Whereas in the case of corporation or partnership, the maximum contribution is 25% of each eligible W-2 or guaranteed payment in the case of partnership. An eligible employee in a SEP RA is an individual who meets all the following: has age of 21, has worked for the employer for at least three or the last 5 years, received at least 750 in compensation. It says the tax rules have changed for pre-2023. A SEP RA generally receive only employee contributions and generally cannot allow for employee elective deferrals like the 401k. The SEP RA contribution must be made to a traditional pre-tax IRA or a Roth IRA. A Roth IRA cannot be used. The contributions are made by the employer to an employee vest immediately. Therefore, the employer receives a tax deduction in the amount of the SEP RA contribution. Right? And it says is all the SEP RA distribution taken after 59 and a half only be subject to ordinary tax, income tax. But here are the rules for 2023. Starting in January, and some of you all may know this, starting in January, the SEP RA employee profit sharing contribution can now be designated as a Roth IRA. It can now be designated as a Roth IRA, meaning you got a traditional side, which is pre-tax, and then you have post-tax, well, you've already been taxed, right? Note that the IRS has not yet set forth rules on procedures for the employee to elect to have SEP contribution treated as a Roth. The provision states that the employee must elect the contributions made by the employer to be treated as made to a Roth IRA, right? And let me look down here and see if they got anything. In essence, the self-IRA contribution option will allow the employee to have a chance to elect when they wish to pay the tax on the funds or on a grant upon distribution. Another way to look at the Roth IRA option is to think of it as a Roth conversion without an actual conversion taking place. All right. And they got some unanswered questions and then a conclusion. So those of you that are self-employed, this could be an option for you, right? This could be an option. So let's get back to your folks. I don't want to spend too long, but there is some good tidbits in here. So I wanted to give you that. Now they're going to go through everyone. DH, we appreciate you. Your tech tides, we appreciate you all.
Year a little bit for inflation. So they're probably in the 19,000, and this is probably a good way to throw this out there so it makes this more evergreen. It's usually around 19,000 for a normal employee, but then if you're over age 50, you have catch-up contributions, which come up another 6,000-ish that you can do. Let's see, Mindy's looking it up, see how close I am to where we're hitting.
Yeah, so Kyle has been out of the CFP game for a minute. They raised them significantly for 2023, which is really awesome for those of us who contribute.
Inflation, they're inflation adjusted. Yeah, what are they now?
2023 contribution limits are $22,500.
Now that's gonna go up for 2024. Now here's another thing too, and this is was talked about in here. There's been some talk of redoing the IRA because it's not adjusted for inflation. It's only at 6,500 and then 7,000 if you over 50. So there's been talk of increasing that, but I don't know when that's going to take place. But right now, 6,500, and that's where we're at. So let's get back to it.
For regular people, and an additional $6,000 if you are like me and over 50. So I can put in $28,500. So Kyle, how does a 401k work, you might ask? Do I have to pay taxes on it, you might ask? No, you don't have to pay taxes on it. Well, maybe you have to pay taxes on it. And yes, you have to pay taxes on it. So that's a whole lot of answers that don't make any sense at all. How does a 401k work? I work at Bigger Pockets. Bigger Pockets offers me a 4.
I'm gonna skip that because I don't think you know how 401k works. So let me go in here because there. I hope they got some. Yeah, they do. All right, they got 401ks, and let's hop over here to traditional IRAs.
Take advantage of it. All right, Kyle, let's move along to the IRA. What is it and why is it different from a 401k?
Yeah, the IRA it stands for individual retirement account. And we can kind of go back over everything Mindy explained for the 401k. It's very similar, except that it's not sponsored or held by an employer. You own it individually and you are in control of it, and you can custody it or hold it at any company you want. And some you might know as Schwab or Fidelity.
All right, so why is that important? Again, we talked about that tax bill, right? So, 2023, right? Here where we talked about those tax brackets, right? Where you, let's say you're at that 200,000 single right here at 24, with your 401k at 22 and your HSA, you're roughly about 26,000. So you could, you're at 32, sorry. So you get at 26,000, you can knock off 26,000 and probably push you back down to 24%. Now, the real goal, if you can get yourself down here to 22%, that's a hard ask. If you can get yourself down here to 22%, it's a hard ask, but 24% is good. Reducing your tax bracket is really gonna help you. Now, um, buying some property, and I'm gonna talk about that too today. It's gonna help you too. But let's get back to this video and let's continue. Again, 6,500 for your IRA. And I brought this up last night, and I'll bring it up again. If we're going to investor.gov with your IRA and your compound calculator, if you hit it, let's say your first year you put in 6,500, right? And then let's say in your IRA, I think it's 321. And remember, it increases over time, like it goes up to 7,000. And once you hit 50, and let's say you 25 years old, and let's say in 25 years you put it in there, and let's say it grows at 9%, right? And let's just give it a variance of one up and one down, and let's calculate that. Let's say by the time you're 50, you would have had like $300,000 in there. But I'm saying that you're starting at 25, right? But let's say you start at 40 in 25 years, um it'll be a little bit more, right? Because you got that 7,000 that you're putting into it, and that's going to increase your monthly distribution. I mean, your monthly contribution, and you're holding it for 25 years. So it could be a little more, but this is just one account, right? One account. Ideally, you would like this account to be at 500,000. Thank you, Tara M. You want this account to be at 500,000. I would think you would like to be at a half a million, right? You want to get it to a half a million. All right. So with that being said, if we can get that account to a half a million, that's one account at half a million, right? And then if we're just gonna say we max out our 401k, 22.5, I think is 1875 a month. You do it for 25 years, we're gonna get a variance of between one up, one down, and then let's calculate that. That's at 2 million, right? It could in the middle, it could be 2 million, or above it, it could be 2.5, right? It could return at 10%, it could return at 9%, it could be return at 8 over a lifetime. But let's go with the 2.5, right? So you're at 2.5 in one account, you're at $500,000 in another account, and now we still have our HSA out there. We still have our HSA out there. Um, you got your HSA. I'm gonna go ahead and put you in at 3850. I think is 321. Is it? And you invested in 5 years, and I don't think it may not perform as well. I think they may do 5 or 6%. It may do better. And let's calculate that. Now that's at around about 200,000. So you can easily be in these plans for over 25 years, and I'm being generous. I'm not even talking about, I haven't included your 401k the match. I haven't included some extra contributions that you have made. I have not included some extra money you might have thrown into your IRA or what have you. I haven't included none of that. I'm just showing you a easy 3 million that you can make in 25 years. Now, people are like, I don't want to wait 25 years to make that 3 million. You don't have to. I'm just showing you a plan over time that you can have. Now, what else is not talked about is your emergency fund. We haven't talked about that. Or you got some money in a money market account. We haven't talked about your I bonds. We haven't talked about, maybe you do have some money stashed away. Maybe you bought some gold. Maybe you bought some silver. Maybe you bought some land. What is your net worth? What do you want that to look like over time? You want that to increase over time. And you ought to be around people that are talking about increasing their net worth over time. If they're talking about, man, you know what, I'm waiting for this new Section 8 to come out, may not be the way you want to be at. May not be where you want to be at. If Section 8 got a wait list of 20 years, and you just gonna wait for Section 8 and live in the tent or at the cemetery for 20 years, I'm just showing you what you could have versus you waiting for Section 8. I'm just showing you, right? Showing you what you could have. Right? So let's get back to it.
TD Ameritrade, Chase, all kinds of different companies, E-Trade. And it's just a pre-tax account, has a certain limit each year that you are able to put into it. It's a lot less, and it is deducted from your taxes when you file your tax return rather than it being deducted directly from your paycheck. But it's also functions the same way as a 401k in the fact that if you leave an employer and you want to consolidate, say you've been at several employers and you have several different 401k plans, you can roll them out of your 401k plans at former employers into a single IRA so that you're controlling all of your money and your investments in one place. And that doesn't mean, sometimes I had people would get confused. Well, I don't want to do that because everything's held at one company and I want to be diversified. Well, you don't want to be diversified at different custodians. You want to be diversified within your investments. So to say that another way, it doesn't matter if you have 401k at company A, company B, company C, and your IRA at company D. You can put all those into your IRA at company D if the fees are reasonable and you have more control over it, and you can still diversify it just as well in that account. It's a good holding account to bring things into. But again, it's pre-tax money. If you take it out before 59 and a half, you'll pay a penalty on it and it'll be added to your taxable income, however much you take out after 59 and a half. It doesn't get taxed. Or it doesn't get penalized. You get taxed on it when you pull it out.
Now here's the thing. This is why some of y'all may need to be liquid. If you know that if you're not good at saving, and you know you're gonna be chipping away here and there. Oh, let me go over here and get a little 1,000. Or let me go over here and get a little $50. Let me go over here and get a little 200. Let me go over here and get a little, and a little. That may not be the plan for you. You don't want to get hit with those penalties, right? You need to find another form, another way, so you can get a little. Okay?
It's a little bit different about the IRA from the 401k. And this is one of the things that I find clients that have built up a sizable nest egg over the years, or maybe most of theirs is in real estate, but they have some of these 401k and IRA accounts that they've built up over the years. An IRA, all the money goes in pre-tax. It grows tax-free, and when you take it out, you're taxed. Unless you donate it directly to a nonprofit. And this is something that, and I think I've mentioned this before on the show, but for me personally and a lot of my clients, this is going to be my old man gift.
So this goes back into that Secure Act that I was talking about when we were talking about the QCD, that you're donating to a charity. Again, that charity does not have to be somebody outside of the family. It could be someone inside of the family. Ideally, what I think could happen, and you can go talk to a lawyer. Don't quote me on this. Is go talk to a lawyer. Go set up a nonprofit or a trust or whatever, probably a private foundation, but probably more than like a nonprofit that can go buy some land. You donate to that charity. You donate that money to say some grandchildren or whatnot, right? And it's a charity, and then have that charity go buy that land. But then now you got to think, you got to be smart, right? You got to start thinking like, what does it look like for the charity to go buy some farmland to hold for grandchildren that came out of your account but kept the money in the family, right? You don't have to be in control. You can designate someone in control of that, but just start thinking about the different ways that you can set up these different structures where your money is still working long after you're gone, where your money is still working for the entire family, right? And you can start teaching others in your family how to do those things and set up those structures. But you can't be sitting on the sideline and like, well, one day somebody gonna show me. No, 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 no. You're gonna have to get up and show yourself. You're gonna have to show yourself. Let's get back to it.
Yeah. This is where when I'm 72 and a half or 72, 70 and a half is the qualified charitable distribution age. 72 is the required minimum distribution when you have to start taking it out. 70 and a half, you can start sending up to $100,000 a year from an IRA account, tax-free, to your food bank in your local town, to your church, to Maui that just got hit by a wildfire.
Send it to your family. Now he said up to 100,000. Now what does that do? The reason why he's mentioning that, because when you go to do your RMDs, you've already taken out that money, and you can have that money going to something that's working for your family. Now, not only that, when it's time to take your RMDs, you're not taking so much money out and have to get taxed on it. You're minimizing what has to come out. So now you're minimizing and you're reducing taxes in retirement on taxable income that you're going to receive from your IRA or these different investment accounts. But in the meantime, that money is also working as well too, and is working in the family. Did that make sense to everybody? Am I confusing y'all? You got your IRA. You could take out 100,000 if you needed to, or what, up to 100,000. You could take out 20, donate to a charity from the family charity, the family nonprofit. Take that money, go buy land that's being held by the nonprofit, farm, whatever. Throw a cow on it. Go look up USDA. What does that mean? But when you go to take your RMDs, now you're reducing it, right? I am just trying to tell you, like, these are just the different structures and things and how people are moving. I'm not lying to you. You can go look all this up. And if you don't believe me, go seek a CPA. Go talk to a lawyer, right? Go talk to him. I'm just interpreting what I'm hearing, and I go ask questions to lawyers and CPAs, and I'm like, what is this? This how I interpret this. Is this true? Is this correct? Ask those questions.
Or you can do anything that's a qualified charity. You can send it directly to them, and then that money is gone tax-free forever. So you never pay tax on it. It grew tax-free, and the charity that you choose gets to use it tax-free forever. Can't do that.
What did he say? Let me rewind that. I heard what he said. I don't know if you did. Let's go back a little bit here.
Nest egg over the years, or maybe most of theirs is in real estate, but they have some of these 401k and IRA accounts that they've built up over the years. An IRA, all the money goes in pre-tax. It grows tax-free, and when you take it out, you're taxed. unless you donate it directly to a nonprofit. And this is something that, and I think I've mentioned this before on the show, but for me personally and a lot of my clients, this is going to be my old man giving account. This is where when I'm 72 and a half or 72, 70 and a half is the qualified charitable distribution age. 72 is the required minimum distribution when you have to start taking it out. 70 and a half, you can start sending up to $100,000 a year from an IRA account, tax-free, to your food bank in your local town, to your church, to Maui that just got hit by a wildfire. You can do anything that's a qualified charity. You can send it directly to them, and then that money is gone tax-free forever. So you never pay tax on it. It grew tax-free, and the charity that you choose gets to use it tax-free forever. Can't do that with a 401k, but it's pretty simple. If you have a big 401k, you can just roll it to an IRA and make that your old man giving account if you want to.
So I just looked up what are the IRA 2023 contribution limits. I don't like this number at all. $6,500 for the whole year, but the 401k is $22,000 and only $1,000 for over 50. Why is it so different?
It just depends on when Congress put the law in for each of the accounts. So if you notice on both of those, the catch-up contribution of $6,000 and $1,000.
You should look into, can you do both? Well, Kyle, what do both of these accounts have in common?
This one is, what is the Roth IRA and the Roth 401k have in common?
The IRA and the 401k.
Oh, they both have a Roth side to them, and we'll just complicate things even more with that. So the Roth side is the after-tax function of both of these accounts, and I believe it's named after the senator that initially put the legislation to the floor or whatever. Mindy's nodding. Yes, I should know this too. I'm a retired CFP with my credentials still, but I have to caveat that I don't know very much anymore. But the Roth IRAs is after tax, so you don't get deducted on your tax return. But the difference is
now that's the hard part right there, right? So listen, you all are you're going to get a Roth 401k and a Roth IRA. Now, I'm going to tell you now, max out the traditional as much as you can, because that helps lower the tax bill. Now you can contribute minimum to your Roth if you want to, just because you want to, at 59 and a half, you want to have some money floating around to do something. But here's the other kicker too. Whatever money you contribute to that Roth side, it doesn't help reduce your tax bill. Only the traditional side is going to help you reduce your tax bill. So say you got 22.5 and you're like, well, I'm going to do 50-50. Well, you're not reducing your tax bill. The entire 22,500, you're only reducing your tax bill by half. So you may want to do like, I don't know, 20,000 over there and 2,500 over here, right? Depending on how you see that, right? Again, you can contribute, but you need to understand that it ain't the Roth side of that is not helping reduce your tax bill. That's what they don't tell you, but now I'm here to tell you.
Already paid the tax on it. It grows tax-free forever and then comes out tax-free. And that's a huge, huge benefit in so many ways. And I'm in the camp with Scott Trench on this one. There's the nice thing about the Roth IRA, and some people will argue with you, well, I am going to be in a lower income bracket when I retire. So if I take it out then and I already paid tax on it now and I'm making really good money, why would I do that? Why would I pay tax in a high bracket now? I think I'm going to be a low bracket later and pay no tax on it. Should flip it around, pay no tax now, and then draw it out like an IRA later on, pay very little tax because I'm hardly making any money. There's some logic to that for sure, but you also got to look at what your goals are. One of the things that people often forget is that sometimes things come up in life where you need a bigger chunk of money. It's not just your monthly income for retirement, but say a house comes up for sale across the street that the lady you've known there, she's 90, she's lived there forever, and you're good friends with her, and she has like no family. The place comes up for sale, needs some work, and it's going to go for a deal if you've got cash to buy it. Well, if you've got an IRA with $300,000 in it that you've saved up over years and you pull that out, you're going to get crushed in taxes on that to try, whether you're over 59 and a half or under 59 and a half. you're going to get penalties and you're going to get taxes because it's going to bump you into multiple higher tax brackets, not just the tax you pay on it. It's going to bump you into higher brackets on those larger amounts. However, if you've got a chunk sitting in a Roth IRA, if you're over 59 and a half, you can cut a check and buy that house cash. If you're doing a fix or flip, something, whatever opportunity it is, doesn't even have to be real estate. That money is available to you. The other thing about a Roth IRA, and this is one of the reasons I really love the account, is that all the contributions are always available to you. You can always take out the contributions that you've put into a Roth IRA. And this is why a lot of times I'll even tell people, if you really want to optimize things, put your emergency fund into here and don't invest it aggressively until you get up above a certain amount. But why not put it in the Roth? So at least the interest you earn in there is tax-free. Because if you have an emergency, say you put $2,000 into your Roth IRA and you need $2,000 a year from now, and you invested that as an emergency fund, should be invested in your Roth IRA in like a 5% high yield savings money market fund or something like that, you can pull that $2,000 out tax-free, penalty-free. The interest has to stay in there until retirement age, but that's going to grow tax-free. And after age 59 and a half, that interest is completely tax-free. Everything you put in there is. So the Roth is just this wonderful account. And the 401k version of it, it's the same as the IRA and 401k normal traditional versions. You have the lower contribution.
Does this make sense to everybody? Right? I think they're normalizing that now. All right, so let's go here. HSA.
That's a really, really good reason to do it.
We've got a few more accounts to talk about. These are gonna go a little bit quicker because they're pretty straightforward. The next one up is the HSA, or the Health Savings Account, is a type of personal savings account that you can set up to pay certain healthcare costs. An HSA allows you to put money away pre-tax and withdraw it tax-free as long as you're using it to pay for qualified medical expenses like deductibles, co-payments, co-insurance, pharmacy, and also like random other things that you might not think of, like contact solution, Band-Aids. There's a huge list of, I think it's like 12 bajillion different items that you.
All right, so the HSA, right? Not the FSA, the HSA, right? The Health Savings Account, right? All right. Let's go here. This is straight from the IRS. I like to give you stuff straight from the IRS. So the health saving plan, what are the benefits? Here we go. All right. So you can claim tax deductions for contributions you or someone other than the employer. Now listen, there are some employers that do a match on your HSA. So you may contribute 100, they contribute 100, right? So it depends. Look to see if they actually match on your HSA. Now with that match on that HSA, when you go in and you log in, you like, oh, okay, I got a little extra money. I'm gonna put another little 200 on it. It'll let you know that you're getting close to your 3850 for the year or whatnot. It won't let you go over that 3850. And then once you get to a certain number, like 1,000 or 2,000, it say, okay, you got an extra 1,000. You want to put that into and play the stock market or what have you. You can roll it over and play it in the stock market, right? It says contributions to your HSA made by an employer, including contributions made through a cafeteria plan, may be excluded from your gross income. The contributions remain in your account until you use them. The interest or other earnings or assets in the account are tax-free. Distributions may be tax-free if you pay for qualified medical expenses. The HSA is portable, meaning you can go from company to company. That's your money. All right. What needs to be talked about here? I'm trying to find. Not that. I'm trying to find what all you can do inside your HSA. Testing additional contribution. All right. So if you're eligible individual 55 and older, you can do an additional contribution. Limit is increased by 1,000. For example, if you have only coverage, you contribute 46.50, so it goes up, right? It goes up. But I want to see what was covered in it. That's what I want to know. What medical expenses, right? Distributions from the HSA, qualified medical expenses, insurance, premiums, health coverage tax, deemed distribution for the HSA. So here we go. Right here. I want to show you where after you get a certain age, your HSA can then turn into kind of like a mini IRA, where then you can take that money out and it doesn't have to be used for medical distribution. It could then be used for it could be used for it could be used for anything else. HSA, um, not medical age distribution. Okay, here it is. Let's see. These distributions for your HSA purpose, blah, blah. The distribution will be taxed as ordinary income. If you're not yet 65 years old, you generally pay an additional 20% tax. So it's actually 65. Yeah. Okay. At the age of 65, here we go. I wasn't sure. I thought it was 70. At the age of 65, you can take penalty-free distributions from your HSA. However, in order to be both tax-free and penalty-free, the distribution must be for qualified medical expense. I knew it was qualified there. Withdrawals made for other purposes subject, or yeah, I think it's 70. I think it's 70. That's why I thought it was 70. I think it's 70. Let's see. Let's look up HSA at 70. At 70. All right. So HSA work, tax advantage, triple tax advantage, contributions, 55 and older, earmark savings just for health care, investing. Yep. All right. Help bridge your plan with Medicare at 65, long term care, pay for. Let your SSA play a role in your estate in the event of medical expenses are much lower than average. Blah blah blah. Estate plan ahead. Okay, tip plan ahead. Typically, once you turn 72, you will need to take RMDs from IRAs and 401ks, and you will have to pay that for taxes. But since the HSA is a triple advantage, it's an option you should consider prioritizing to fortify your retirement. Right. So once you hit, I think it's 72. Once you hit 72, you don't have to worry about RMDs. You just take the money out, and I don't think you don't have to use it for medical expenses at 72. So it's at 72, right? Provided that you people make it that far, right? Provided that people make it that far. All right. So that was the HSA. Let's hop down here to the. I think you know about high year savings account, but after tax brokerage accounts.
You can use it immediately if you need to.
Let's wrap up with the brokerage account, also known as the after-tax brokerage account.
Yeah, the brokerage account. I don't love the name brokerage account. I usually try to tell people it's an investment account. It's just a plain investment account. Brokerage, a broker is someone who brokers things, buys, sells things, but you can really buy and sell things in any of these investment retirement accounts that we're talking about. But a brokerage account in the industry is just a plain investment account with no special tax advantages attached to it. You get taxed as ordinary income on things that you buy and then sell within a year, and you get a 1099 that comes and shows you what you have to pay in taxes for income and for capital gains, and you get the capital gains rate, a long-term capital gains rate on things that you hold for more than a year. It's very plain vanilla from investment standpoint, or from a tax standpoint, as far as what you have
Now, how many of you have ever taken a loan out against your own brokerage account? Have you ever taken a loan out against your brokerage account? You know that you did you know that you could do that, right? Loan against brokerage accounts, right? Three ways to borrow money against your assets, right? Home equity line of credit, that's with your house. Margins, securities based line of credit, right? Security based line of credit, right? Like a margin, security based line of credit offered through a bank allows you to borrow against the value of your portfolio, usually at a variable interest rates. You don't have to do it; it's the option, so people do it. Assets are pledged as collateral and held in in a separate brokerage account at the brokerage dealer. Unlike margin, these non-purpose credit lines may not be used to purchase securities or pay down margin loans, nor can be used to be deposited into brokerage accounts. Such lines of credit tend to require more borrowing than margin account. Swatch Pledge Asset Line of Credit, for example, has a minimum of 100,000 and an initial advance of 70,000. Right? So there you go. Bridge financing, liquidity. Right? I'll give you this link. You can go check this out on Schwab, where you can get a you can go against your own account. Right? Now, why did I mention that? So this week I've been looking at duplexes, triplexes. I'm going to go look at some today and so forth. But now it's like, okay, what does that look like? Right? What does it look like for me to move into my own triplex and my own duplex and then have others pay the mortgage on this asset, right? So I wanted to just put this in your ear and go from there. All right. So here we go. Have you ever wondered whether it's possible to buy a multifamily property and live in one of the units while renting the others? This isn't as difficult as you think. Many mortgages designed for primary residence will finance a multifamily home as long as you live in there yourself, right? So a lot of people go out and try to buy the multifamily and not live in it, but this is just another way to do it. And then here's also another thing. This is another way where you can use your IRA or your 401k to buy the unit. So you can leverage your 401k because you're buying a unit because it's treated as a single family home because it's your primary residence, and you can go from there. But also check the rules and stipulations and so forth, and lenders and everything. Do your due diligence, right? But there is a way around the hurdle. You can buy a multifamily property, move into one of the housing units, and earn passive income by collecting rent on the other units. By living in one of the units, you be meeting the owner occupancy rule for your mortgage. That means getting a lower mortgage rate compared to the loan for commercial properties. The strategy won't finance an entire apartment complex or a mixed-use development. It will, however, work on a two, three, 4 unit property. Some lenders call these properties duplexes, triplexes, or fourplexes. Right. So the duplex, triplex, fourplex property. Owning a duplex, triplex, or fourplex is different from renting out a room in your single family. With multifamily real estate, each housing unit has its own address, its own separate entrance, its own kitchen, its own bathroom, and its own utility connections. Each unit could have the same amenities as standard single family housing. Some large single family homes have been converted into qualifying multifamily unit properties, especially in high density urban areas. This is fine as long as the property is legally converted and changes are on file with the county and the local jurisdiction. The financial advantage of buying a multifamily property. Before we get into financing options for this type of property, here's an example of an economic advantage of a 2, 3, 4 unit. For example, let's say you're buying a fourplex. If you charge 2,000 per month for rent, you collect 6,000 a month in rental income. 2,000 per month times the three new units you rent out. Let's say the fourplex costs 1 million. You put 5% down on an FHA loan. A 30-year loan term at 5.5 interest would require you a principal and interest of 53.94, 606 less than your monthly rental income. The 606 won't be profit. As the property owner, you'll be paying taxes and insurance on the entire residential property, and you're responsible for maintaining the housing unit. In this scenario, you may not break even every month, but remember, you're living in the fourth unit, and you're not charging yourself 2,000 in rent. More importantly, you're not paying another landlord 2,000 a month. As time passes, you'll be building equity in your own home. That 2,000 a month that you're not paying, you should just be putting that up, right? Because you got incidents and stuff that will occur, you know, plumbing, whatever the case may be, roof, whatever, right? Depending on the property, air conditioning, and so forth. So, how to finance a multifamily as a primary residence? The first step is to identify the proper financing. Also, identifying the proper area, what kind of rents that you can get, rent rolls, the whole nine. Uh, Doing the inspection, all of that stuff. You want to do that, right? It says owner occupied home loans have lower mortgage rates than commercial estate loans. FHA and VA loans, which finance only primary residents, will work for a multifamily property, and these loan types offer bigger advantage, lower down payment, and competitive rates. Down payment versus cash flow. Lower a down payment means you spend less money up front, but it will also mean higher mortgage payments, which can stifle cash flow from month to month. But that's only for a short while. The state of your local housing market is a factor. If rents have surged in the market and so forth, lenders calculate the entire monthly rent, the principal and the interest, the property tax, the homeowner's insurance if you have it, mortgage insurance if you're not doing 20%, and so forth. Minimum down payment on a duplex or triplex, you don't have to put down 20%. You can put down 3.5, or on a 2 or 4 unit, and that will equal 26,000 on a residential property, and the cost will be 750. If you're eligible for a VA loan, you may qualify for zero down. If you want to stick into with a conventional loan, you'll probably need a higher down payment. Two unit, you'll need 15%. 3 unit, 25, 25. So now the rates go up. Now you got to come up with this money, right? You'll need private mortgage insurance for a 2 unit with 15% down. Home buyers can cancel PMI when the loan balance reaches 80%, right? FHA's low down payment catch. Of course, there's a catch, just another. But again, I'm just talking to you about what you can do um with your HSA, not your HSA, but your FSA and your 401k. Most primary resident loans have a maximum size that changes from year to year. For example, 2022, the conventional loans can't surpass 647 in most US counties. And FHA loans top at 420. The VA doesn't limit the loan sizes. All right. So on the FHA, for a triplex is 650, for a fourplex is 809. For conventional loans, the multifamily is 802, 1 million for a triplex, and 4 million, 1.2 million for a fourplex. Limits go even higher in high cost housing markets. So you need to check the limits in the market in which you're in. So just the idea, right? Put a one in the chat if you like the info today. Right? Put a one in the chat if you like the info today. So that's just another income strategy to get you some money where you can stay for free, get you a multifamily unit, get money rolling in. You staying for free, you let somebody else pay for that. And what be even better, right? An even bigger hack. Let's say you got a unit that's a 3-3 or 3-2. Move a roommate into that 3-2. You take the downstairs, you move some other people in, you sit in that for a year, let build it out, do renovations or what have you. Don't get nobody that's messy. Don't move in. Don't let nobody move in that's nasty. You are the landlord. That's your unit. Now you got somebody, instead of that 2,000 that normally would have been paid. Now you got somebody. You got two people in there that may be paying, 800 a piece or something like that for a room, right? Now they're paying that 800. You may be coming up with the 400 to max that out, but now you're not coming out. Now you're paying 400 in rent versus you paying 2,000. You may be sharing with somebody, but just only temporary, because now when you get ready to go to your next thing, it has built equity in that place, and you may stay in there 2 years. I'm not telling you how long you should stay. I'm just giving you an option on how to take that money and have your money working for you. Because with your 401k, you can buy new property every 2 years. So you may sit in there for 2 years and may go buy a duplex and go move into that, then move somebody into the space in which you was in, and you move out into the duplex, and now you own a duplex, and you sit in there for 2 years, and you move out of the duplex, and now you go into another property, and you sit there for 2 years. By the time 10 years rolled around, you've gained 5 properties, and they may be worth in total 2 or 3 million. They all have equity into them because they have increased over time. And now you got to do some property management and automating. Don't buy in the HOA. Keep the rent steady. Keep making sure the property is updated, and treat your tenants right. By the time you hit 50, now you getting property, you getting money coming in on, let's say you bought 4 triplexes at, and people are paying 2,200 a piece. Now you have that money coming in over 4 different things going into an account. Make sure you got some reserves set up. Make sure you got something set up for that. And now you still working. You still working. And if you're smart, you go get one of the jobs that I talked about last night, where you get that extra 30,000 once a year, and you can take that 30,000 and go throw it into the trust or what have you. And so now you got some money sitting there for the properties, for management, for something like that. Find somebody to screen the tenants, come up with a plan to screen the tenants, boom, you're in. And now when you get ready to retire or whatnot, and if you say, I'm tired of all of this, take all of that and sell it or hand it down or offload, or you go live in one. Right? Whatever the case may be, right? Right. So just wanted to bring y'all that today. I do have some stuff on Warren Buffett, and data centers and Ford and so forth, but I'll hold off on those because we're at our 2 hour mark, and I don't want to take you to 3 hours. Right? We're at our 2 hour mark. I thank y'all for hanging out. Shout out to those that did become a member. Helmet Chili, donations from Don, donations from D. I think there was one other person, wasn't it? One other person, Don, D. Let me see. Don, D. Oh, no, it was just Helmet Chili that became a member. Well, don't forget to watch the game, Oregon versus Colorado. It's going to be a lot of talk about that. He's already been fined. Don't forget to play the lottery. Let's see, the Mega Millions, I got it right here, was 700 and no 205,000. The Powerball is 725,000. I was talking to D earlier. Colorado has called Lucky for Life, and it's win $1,000 a day for the rest of your life. Could you use $1,000 a day for the rest of your life? $1,000 a day for the rest of your life. The cash option is around about 5.7 million. But could you use $1,000 a day for the rest of your life? Right? $1,000. What would you do with it? Every day you wake up, your bank account you just roll over and you be like, you get an email, ding, ding. Every day you roll over, you got $1,000 every day for the rest of your life. Yep, bet on yourself. You just need $1 a day. You get $1 a day. All you gotta do is walk around. You find $1 a day. You find $1 a day, especially at the beach. That's why people be out there at the beach. Oh, we done had a big weekend. Oh, let me get my stuff out here. We're going out here. We're gonna find watches. We're gonna find rings. We're gonna find everything. $1 a day. All right. Y'all be safe. Catch y'all on the flip.